could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Tú, me está volando más esta parte, ¿eh? Estoy por poner una review mala solo para que me ponga el siguiente juego. A ver. Bueno.
Okay, let's see what this one says.
A ver. Si bien la idea del juego es buena, prefiero los juegos no lineales, pero el sermoneo se vuelve molesto enseguida. Sermoneo.
I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh goodness, this is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it. Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't.
Oh no.
What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure.
No.
Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
Botón de omitir.
A skip
Seguro que lo meten. Seguro que lo meten en este.
Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customers today. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Bravo! Skip button.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations. Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes. It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really truly... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back.
Oh,
I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
Una semana.
Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here.
Quiero ver si han programado en plan que hable mucho tiempo.
De verdad, just ¿sabes? How it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know...
Cállate la boca.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about...
Cállate. No. No dice nada. Me está poniendo a prueba él. Uy, suena algo raro por aquí, ¿eh? ¿Se habrá muerto? Creo que ya no habla, ¿eh? ¿Qué suena por aquí? Ah, vale, es esto, es el ventilador. ¿Qué hora es? Las 12:14. Pues esto no está muy bien, ¿eh? Ah, porque ha esquipeado. Ah. Next. Oh, no. Oh, no. Por favor. Ahí está. Skip, rápido.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they
Se ha caído el reloj. Es verdad, no funciona, ¿eh? No funciona. Sigue vivo, pero... Creo que está enfadado.
Is never the end, 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 is the end, is never 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 the end, never the end, is 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 never the end. End is never the 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 end is never the.
Algo gotea, ¿eh? Hola. Una escapatoria. Una escapatoria. Vamos a ir de aquí.
Estamos ya desde mi cum. ¿Me puedes felicitar y mandar un corazoncito coreano? Me llamo Lorena.
Sí.
Un abrazo para ti y para el chat.
Feliz cum, Lorena. Feliz cum. Pásalo bien hoy. Felicidades. What the fuck, pero estamos esquipeando ya años. Meses. Oh shit. No, esta vuelta como estaba antes, ¿no? No, es de noche. Skip. Nope. What the fuck? Se ha caído el botón. What? ¡Hala! Tú, parece lo de Moon Knight, donde van los... Bueno, spoiler, pero me entendéis. Qué guapo. ¿Puedo avanzar en plan hasta el infinito o qué? ¿Se verá algo?
Hola Rubius, desde que me enseñaste sobre XQC dejé de verte tanto por verla a él y ya han pasado 19 meses. ¿De quién es la culpa? ¿Mía por dejar de verte o tuya por enseñármelo? Por favor, clarifica XQCL.
¡No! ¡No! Se ha reiniciado, tío, se ha reiniciado. Se ha reiniciado, tío, se ha reiniciado. Se ha reiniciado, tío. Sí. Es mentira. Te he visto dorando aquí más de una vez. En los últimos meses. No me troles. Ese era un final. Tío, pero a lo mejor le podría haber dado el botón, ¿eh?
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something?
No,
He
esto es nuevo.
hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Esto es nuevo. Nuevo contenido. A ver.
You notice my sign.
Sí.
Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Es. Esto es el ascensor de antes.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable. and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
¡Bravo! ¡Bravo! Vamos a ver la demo. The end is never the end again. Investor Showcase. Vamos a invertir, gente. Invierto 2 Ethereums.
An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This.
Así que vamos a ver qué pasa en 3, 2, 1. Me da miedo, ¿eh? Me da miedo.
Sorry,
Jim?
I should have clarified. Right now, button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever.
Es una beta, gente.
Here,
es una
let's
beta.
have you role play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Vale, soy Jim. Somos Jim.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim. Sleeping and waking as Jim. Falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim. Seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim. And Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
Oh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, birthday step-niece it is.
Creo que no detecta que está haciendo capturas, ¿eh?
Maybe I should have gone with... No.
Creo que lo detecta.
I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Free New Anisia Achievement. Me da un logro gratis si entro aquí. Vamos, que sí voy. Sí, me lo merezco. Me merezco un logro. A ver. Tira de la palanca. Recoge tu... O sea, recibe tu logro. Y nada más. Funciona así de bien. Vale, perfecto. Pues de puto madre un logro. A subir de nivel de Steam.
Broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident. Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement.
Gracias.
Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you.
Perfecto.
It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, but I guarantee it will be fixed to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Hijo de puta. Para eso me meto aquí. Podría haberme dado un logro, tío, de estos en plan básicos, tío. Qué mal, me está cayendo. El cubo no hace nada. El juego me llama Jim. No me dan logros. Voy a poner mala nota. ¿Qué es esto? Puedes encontrarlos. Coño.
Collectibles.
Coleccionables.
Now it's a real video game.
Sí.
In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines.
Whoa.
And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
What
I
the
don't
fuck is
want to
this?
stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply
es el
collect
muñeco,
all
vale.
of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Coleccionables. ¡Bien! Me siento más realizado conmigo mismo. Coleccionas todos, bien.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement, right? All right.
Stanley Parable 2, no voy a invertir y me voy de esta presentación. Tengo otras presentaciones a las que atender. Lo siento mucho. Oh. Adiós. ¿No screenshots? Toma.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together and we'll see whether or not it coheres into
va a juntar todo lo que hemos visto y va a ver si funciona para hacer un gameplay bueno.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's
el salto, los logros, los coleccionables, sí.
Let me do a different arrangement.
A ver.
Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tasteful, of course, with respect, with care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could, but it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
¡Oh! Iniciar partida. A ver qué pasa.
This is the story of a man.
Ya se puede omitir todo. Hay globos, ahora han metido los globos. A ver.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Pero esto no me deja omitirlo.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Deberían de
missed a
meter
memo.
el cubo.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
¡Ojo! Vale.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door
Puerta a la
on his
izquierda.
left.
¿Qué pasa si me paso el juego con esto?
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd... Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here.
Palabra
It's
Megan
supposed
Fox.
to go with the other
Solo
cleaning
quiero darte las
supplies.
gracias por tu
Vale.
especial 6 millones.
Don't give in.
Fuiste una de
Don't
las razones por las que
hand
me he
over the
esforzado tanto.
I know how
Hoy soy
hard
de
it
ese
must be,
2%.
given the
Cuídate,
pressure
tío.
that the
Un
broom
abrazo.
closet is putting on
Vale,
your
me
shoulders
voy a
right
un
now,
abrazo,
but you
tío.
have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand a bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your
No puedo
journal
saltar.
entries detailing the rich
He intentado saltar,
emotional
pero no puedo.
landscape of your feelings for the bucket, as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
¿Me quedo aquí?
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
¡Ojo!
There. Now it's
Propiedad de Stanley, bravo.
no more debate, no more discussion. Take our hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
¿Dónde la hice? ¿Ya?
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel
me lo va a llenar, tío, me lo va a llenar
the sticker is also
de stickers.
a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Ya está.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
¿Se ha pirado de verdad esta vez o no? Es que ya no sé, tío, ya no sé si fiarme. Hasta que no me den un logro no me voy de aquí. Voy a esperar 10 segundos más. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Escalera.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket
El jefe. Vamos a ir al jefe esta vez, a ver qué pasa. Vamos a ir al jefe esta vez, a ver qué pasa.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover
Uy, esto me suena,
indication of
Pero este es del 1. Este es del 1, pero llevo un bucket.
Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
2845. 2845.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Sí.
Was the bucket guiding him?
Sí.
Yes. This is certainly the most logical explanation.
Vale. Coleccionables.
You found one of them.
Whoa.
One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Vale, ¿y ahora? ¿Este es el ascensor de antes o no? Esto me suena de algo, este ascensor.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Izquierda o derecha, gente. Claro, es que no... No se sabe porque es un juego nuevo, se supone. Y ahora llevo el cubo este que se supone que no me va a ir bien, ¿sabes? Por una parte quiero ir al sitio de control mental. Pero por otra parte quiero escapar, pero obviamente no voy a poder escapar. Y menos si está escrito de esa manera cutre. Donde caiga el ratón. Vale, voy a apuntar hacia abajo. Donde caiga el ratón.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Vale, y ahí arriba es donde estuvimos la anterior vez. Cámaras.
Monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
Sí.
The bucket had never seen
Este final ya estaba en el Stanley para el 1, pero no sé si pasa algo. Tírate para abajo, ¿puedo?
Reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Ascensor.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do?
Ha cambiado porque antes no estaba el bucket este, el balde.
These questions
Balde, pero es un cubo de toda la vida.
in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content.
Vale.
Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Control mental activado, desactivado. Activado.
But at the last second, the bucket went in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
Ojo.
Birds.
What the fuck?
Silly.
Pájaros.
Silly birds.
Pájaros
The control
tontos.
buttons became active again.
Pájaro derecha. Oh, más pájaros. Más pájaros. Pingüinos.
Stanley
Bien.
flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
Oye, pues ni
The
tan mal.
mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius.
Me estoy rayando ya, lo quiero quitar
the
ya,
one
tío.
who had pointed him towards
No
this
deja hablar, tío. O sea, en pequeñas eso sí está bien, tío, pero es que ya llevamos ya 2 horas y tengo la cabeza así.
Lives here in this place, flipping through live
Ni 2 horas llevaremos
of the
una.
silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And
Pues sí.
Stanley was happy.
Stanley estaba feliz con sus pajaritos, ya está. Y ese era el final. Bueno, creo que es el mejor final que podría haber sacado. ¡Buf! Pero mira, ahora se llama Stanley Parable 2. Cada vez que lo abra ahora se llamará así, qué guapo. Mola, 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 mola. Mola.